Hello, I am Claudia Jordan, and I am currently working in a master's class to get a master's in education and transformational leadership. As part of my coursework, I will be interviewing myself uh, for this assignment. The first question is, what makes teacher leaders different from other teachers? I think this is an important question. I think it's imperative that when leaders come to be at the forefront of an educational system, there needs to be accountability, and that accountability comes from experience. When leaders have been teachers in the past, they know what the expectation is, they know how to do their work, they know how to be effective. And in order to lead, you need to lead by knowing what you're expecting from your personnel. So I think it's very important to come into leadership, especially in a school environment, from the classroom, knowing how to implement and do your job. This makes them different, these leaders coming from the classroom, because they are aware of what needs to be done. In the past, I've seen leaders that come from business world and they don't quite understand what it is to be a teacher. And when they try to lead and enforce certain strategies or ways to doing things, it becomes more difficult because they don't know the processes. So there is a vast difference. And I do believe that it's important for leaders to come with the experience. The next question is, what do you think of the notion of teacherpreneur, a teacher who is entrepreneur? I think that is a great term, teacherpreneur, because we do have to be innovative. We do have to create different strategies, different methodology, different application of the content. There has not been a single year where what I taught the previous year is exactly the same as to what is taught this year. It's important for teachers to be innovative in creating things to reach all students. Therefore, if a teacherpreneur creates wonderful and amazing strategies, tactics, content, then it needs to be shared with others. It needs to be shared with leadership so that there are a pool of opportunities and resources that we can use and that we can collaborate together to provide the best education we can for our students. The following question is, why is teacher leadership so important, and how can it be effective in addressing the challenges teachers face every day? We do have to have a governing body of sort. There are so many aspects to the educational world, from behavioral issues, from content, from state assessment. There's so many areas that are concerned with education, and so leadership does need to be involved in order to provide a guide, um, kind of an organization so that we meet all the challenges and demands that education has. For it to come from somebody who has been a teacher in the past is of great benefit, because they understand the processes and they understand, what everything entails to do. I think having leadership and teachers willing to work towards a common goal provides an effective organization where we can meet all of these demands. There has not been one single day since becoming an educator or a leader where it is the same. Therefore, the challenges are different, and we all have to work from experience, work from what we know, work from relationships that we have with students and personnel. And those challenges can be met with a guiding principle in leadership of working together towards the common goal, that no matter what occurs, what arises, that we are working together with experience to solve these issues. The next question: to what extent can teacher leaders affect change in their community? I think it's imperative for teachers to change uh, their community to a certain degree. For instance, currently I'm working at a low socioeconomic school where I know from experience from my own children that education provides a better future for us. And so it's important to change the mindset of the community that through education, these children, these families can be transformed and changed and beat um, poverty and the socioeconomic standing that they're in, that they can provide for themselves in a way that they hadn't been able to before through education. So there is the opportunity to affect change through educating communities and changing the mindset, especially providing a growth mindset for all. Some examples of the changes that your interviewee has been able to initiate as a teacher leader in their school or community. Um, my biggest example that I can show is that I love to build relationships with children. I love to get to know them. I love to get to know their interest. I love to get to know where the buy in can be from them. And for many of them, in our community, it's sports, it's activities. And I have been able to volunteer, especially in soccer. Soccer is a big sport in my community, and I've been able to volunteer to be able to show families that educators are invested in their lives. And through personal conversations, telling these parents your child has potential, your child can do this, sharing that with them some of the strengths that these children have and helping them advocate and say, you know, you really have a good chance at doing this. I also share personal experience. My daughter just won a national championship in volleyball. That was a huge dream goal, something we never thought could happen. But through perseverance, having good grades, being involved in education, these doors opened up for her. And I share that. We didn't have much to give our children, and I didn't have much growing up. But through education and activities, doors opened up that would never have opened up before. And to share that with the community opens the eyes of kids. And now I have students telling me, you know what, I really think I'm going to be a lawyer, or I really think I'm going to try to be a nurse. They are willing and open to aspiring and creating something of themselves through education. What are the challenges faced by teacher leaders? What examples has your interviewee seen of this in his or her career? I think some of the challenges and that I've noticed this year is when teachers become leaders, they're not really taught how to be leaders. And they become demanding, a bit bossy. It kind of feels like they've forgotten where they came from. And so I think it's important that we remember where we came from and that we're all working towards a common goal, that we are all professionals and we need to respect each other as professionals that are knowledgeable and know what needs to be done to meet the needs of the student and the vision and goal of the school. So we can't forget where we came from, and we really need to learn how to lead as transformational, distributive, providing opportunities for all voices to be heard and not to get like a superiority complex that could affect the relationships between all personnel. Discuss the importance of enhancing learning communities and the benefits that come by doing so. Provide examples of ways in which teacher leaders can work to strengthen learning communities. One of the things that I've been able to be a part of this year is having PLC, professional learning communities, daily. That is something that my grade level, that my department has agreed upon, and it has been of great benefit. We have learned to use this time wisely to prepare everybody, to create wonderful lesson plans, to meet all of the administrative things that we need to accomplish. But we committed to it so that we would work hard at school to lessen what we do at home. This has completely changed the way that we work at our school. It has really brought a community of learning together. It has really inspired us to teach beyond our walls, where we know all of our students at our school, that it's not just those who walk through our classroom doors, but it affects all of our children, all of the students, and it is more of a group and team effort. In addition, through relationships with children, I have learned that there are some parents that truly want to learn English. And so I've had the opportunity to meet with a couple of parents after school and start teaching them English. Our social worker on campus has become aware of the situation and she will be assisting me as well. So we're trying to build a community of learners and to provide information to the community, to the students and parents, that we're all in it to learn and to be better. Creativity and innovation are becoming increasingly important skills for students. However, the current educational system does not encourage the effective development of these skills. How can teacher leaders work to change the way in which their schools and communities are educating students to enter this new age? Um, I teach in the state of Texas, so already our content standards uh, have 21st century skills embedded in them. Technology is a huge part. And in addition, when children reach high school levels, they have to take a career path along with meeting all of their requirements for graduation. So there has been a shift to provide ways for students to be creative and innovative in the areas that they thrive. Now, with that being said, at the lower levels, elementary, middle school, there are opportunities for kids to be involved in areas where they are engaged. STEM programs, reading clubs, math clubs. Uh, there's even a social studies co-op. So other opportunities are being opened up for children to have that opportunity to be creative and innovative, uh, and also apply those skills to the real world. Another great opportunity that schools are providing now are having parents and community leaders come into the school to help us instruct in certain areas. That has been eye-opening for children to understand that what we're learning can be implemented in the real world and in the workforce. um, uh, showing students that there are different work related job opportunities, right, that go in line with what they are excited and know and are interested in, those kinds of opportunities, and just continue to open up the doors for the kiddos to see what their future can hold, has really provided an opportunity to engage them into working towards, these 21st century skills that are so important. Along with in the classroom, teaching content with relativity to the real world. What changes would you like to see in schools to cultivate talents we need, globally competent, creative, and entrepreneurial? How would you, as a teacher leader, work to bring these changes? I've seen it in some area schools where they're becoming hubs, like city like, where there's certain areas where they're growing things, and the business area where they're selling things, where there are some students who are organizing events, where the school is kind of a utopia, a little city where they're being self-proficient and self-providing in many things. And I wish more campuses would be like that. I know that we have the opportunity at our campus to do things like that. The problem is getting teachers, right, to volunteer and to provide more time to guide these students into these situations. I feel like the more we make our content and our education relevant to the real world, the more the students are engaged and understand why it is so important for them to learn. So I wish we had more opportunities to build lessons and situations for students to be, you know, exposed to these real world situations, and where they can problem solve and they can create things to solve the needs of their community. Mm. I would like to continue to bring these opportunities to students. Like I said, right now, teaching English after school, I wish now my students could join me, right? Especially those that might think of being in the educational world when they grow up. That would be wonderful. I would also like students to visit, not only have the community come to the school to teach us about, future job and future uh, workforce situations, but I would also like to expose the children to those environments. Go visit a farm, go to a vet. I wish I could create more opportunities to have these forms of field trips so that kids are just exposed to exciting and wonderful things. I feel like just like we have vision and goals for the future, when we provide that for the kiddos and when they create their own vision and goal, it's a new thrive in them, an excitement, and something that is awesome to see. And I know academic achievement is important, and I know that those are the things that'll get us to where we want to be. But we ultimately need to be excited and understand that education will get us there, and that we matter, and that our ideas matter, that to be creative and innovative and hardworking, those things applied to our goals and visions will help accomplish those things. I'm excited. I'm excited that I love kids and I love teaching, and I'm excited that through leadership we can continue to build and work to a better 21st century schooling